Today is July 31st, the feast of St. Ignatius of Loyola. Ignatius was a reformer without a campaign slogan and without an enemy to attack. He was a grassroots organizer, encountering one person at a time to talk about Jesus. Of course, they weren't called grassroots organizers back then. The first person to use that phrase was Senator Albert Beveridge of Indiana, who said of the Progressive Party in 1912, "This party has come from the grassroots. It has grown from the soil of people's hard necessities." That is where Ignatius brought his reforms, to the soil of people's hard necessities, to common people in their desire for God, to offer relief from the cruelties of life, from relief from the Inquisition and the reformers. Ignatius showed everyday people a way of encountering God in the routine of their lives, through reflection on daily experience, on Scripture, and in prayer. Of course, there was a major reform movement going on at the time, the Counter-Reformation. This movement had an explicit campaign slogan: "If anyone does not confess our truth, anathema est, let him be detested and shunned." This movement had an army, a 300-year-old Inquisition that brought new vigor to the violent search for dissenters and heretics. And it had an obvious enemy: Martin Luther, the rest of the reformers, and the princes and people of Northern Europe. Our day isn't so different from Ignatius's. Our church needs renewal. We need a way forward through today's hard necessities, namely the bishop's failure to protect and nurture their flocks, and our political leaders' failure to lead with wisdom and integrity. Often our attempts to renew the church and society can feel like trying to pick ourselves up by our own bootstraps. But Ignatius would tell us that that is the wrong metaphor. Jesus revealed himself to Ignatius during his convalescence as the spirit of peace and invitation, as the one who would do the heavy lifting. Having accepted the invitation, Ignatius discovered Jesus as the source of divine love and guidance. Jesus became for him, like St. Paul, the source of ultimate value, to whom he could commit himself ultimately. Jesus will lift us up too, not by our bootstraps, but by our heads and hearts and hands. He will give us a renewed self, and through us and through our efforts, a renewed church and a renewed world. Let's say yes today to that invitation, and then see what glorious work the Lord will do.